Hi, everybody. I'm Tim Johnson, and we have Stacy Borho, and we also have Amy Zordan, Central Illinois Youth Symphony. Welcome.
Thank you.
How you doing today?
I'm good. I'm doing well.
Enjoying the weather?
Yeah, actually I love the rainy cold weather, so this is my time.
I can take that for just a little bit, but yeah, it's a nice change from being really hot.
Yeah,
So
definitely. Fall is definitely upon us.
yeah. So tell us about the Youth Symphony.
So the Central Illinois Youth Symphony is a nonprofit organization. We've been in Peoria for just over 50 years, and we were started by Peoria music teachers who came together in the 60s and said, we want an activity for our students who are really excited about playing their instruments. And so they created this organization where their students could get together and play really challenging repertoire and just kind of explore the music that they couldn't really get to in the schools. And so we're kind of an extension of the school programs in that we can take all of these really excited, enthusiastic students and just give them more music opportunities. And so we started as one orchestra in the 60s, and we've grown to have 4 orchestras and small ensembles.
Wow,
Yeah.
that's amazing. And so, what are your kids' age ranges?
They range anywhere from about 7 or 8 years old through seniors in high school.
Okay. And how do they get to come to the symphony?
Almost all of our groups, we ask them to audition. So we have one orchestra that's our very beginner orchestra where there's no audition. They can just sign up and bring their violin, and we'll get them started. But the rest of our groups, we ask them to play a little audition. So it's a solo, maybe some scales, maybe some excerpts, which are just little snippets of an orchestra piece. And then our goal is to find a place within the CIYS where they'll fit, they'll be challenged, but it'll be an accessible challenge, and we can just fuel that excitement.
So you have different levels you were talking about. Is that different orchestras, or what is that?
It is. So our 4 orchestras are, they're structured based on playing ability. And so our very beginner orchestra is our reading orchestra, where we work on learning to hold your instrument, learning to read music and rhythms, and learning just how to play together and sit properly. And then our prep orchestra is just strings, so it's violins, violas, cellos, and basses. And that's for a student who's been playing for probably like 2 to 3 years, so usually elementary to middle school age. And then our concert orchestra has all strings, but also all of the band instruments. And so it's a symphonic orchestra, and that's usually middle school to high school. And then our youth symphony is our most advanced group, and that's also all strings, woodwinds, brass, and percussion. And they're playing like full Beethoven symphonies. They play at like a good college orchestra level.
So
That's really
you have
cool.
different venues that you play at for different levels, is that right?
Actually, they all rehearse at about the same time. And
Okay.
so the building that we rehearse in is the Life Together Center, and it's the old Great Central Insurance Building on War Memorial in Sheridan.
Okay.
Yeah,
I was just past there last night. I think it was full of people practicing.
those were our rehearsals.
Okay, great. Good
Yeah.
to know.
And they, the building's set up so we can actually run all of our orchestras at the same time. And so it's
Wow.
kind of this beautiful mesh of music on Thursday nights.
Wow. You think about high school, music's been pulled from a lot of the schools, so there's no place for kids to learn music.
Right.
And I consider myself somewhat of a musician. I like to play. But, just having that ability, it helps you learn. I've sold music for a long time, so, musical instruments for a long time, and that was one of my businesses. So that was really a great place for kids to learn and help them in their learning. For me, I learned drums, and I was never a fast runner until I learned the rhythm of the drums. So it's a great thing to get into, and it's a good thing that you're doing.
Thank you.
So.
We try really hard to help support the school music programs and encourage all of our students to stay involved in their school programs because strong school programs give us strong orchestras. And so when the students are in their band or orchestra class every day at school, they're learning all the fundamentals they need to be really great musicians. And then we just kind of benefit from the learning that they do at their schools. And so we try to do what we can to help those teachers in those programs.
So you have a lot of volunteers that help you?
We do. We have all of our parents help out, and so they either come in to help us prepare music or hand out programs at the concert or set up for fundraisers. We have a lot of music teachers in the area who come and help work with our students. They coach our sectionals. They help just prepare the students for whatever auditions they have coming up, whether it's for us or for the district festivals. And so we actually have a wonderfully active music community here in Peoria.
Yeah, that's one thing I love about Peoria is the active music.
How many instruments are in the symphony?
We have, in a symphonic orchestra, there's your violins, violas, cellos, and basses, so your strings. And then your woodwinds are flutes, oboes, clarinets, and bassoons. And brass are trumpet, trombones, and French horns, and tubas, and then percussion.
Wow, that's a lot. So another challenge for families has got to be the cost of instruments. How do you get around that?
Yeah, we don't rent out instruments to our families. Most of our students either that's arranged through their school program, or they can rent from Kidder Music. Kidder has a fantastic rental program. But that is a big barrier to playing music, the cost of the instrument. Depending on the instrument, there are additional supplies you need. For string players, they need to buy new strings as they wear out. For woodwind players, you need reeds. I'm a bassoonist, and my reeds, if I were to buy them, would be, $20 a piece, and they wear out after a month or two.
Wow.
So there can be a very big cost, and then depending on the instrument you pursue, some instruments are more affordable than others. It just kind of depends. And so renting, and you don't have to just rent from one place you can rent from. There are many other dealers in Chicago and in the area. But finding an instrument to rent at first is probably a good idea to get started. That's what a lot of our homeschool families do, is they'll start renting, and then as the kids get bigger, they consider buying or getting the next size up.
Do you ever have those donated to you guys?
Sometimes. We have a few instruments on hand, and so we've got kind of a hodgepodge of violins and violas that have been donated. Okay. And so we do have a few available.
That's pretty nice to have. So I guess that would be something else that maybe you could look for, as if someone has an instrument that they're not using, or wants to be in some good hands and help the kids, and that would be another thing that you guys could have.
So if somebody's interested in joining, how do they get in touch with you?
On our website, we have, they could always just call or email me. That would be totally fine. We do have an application form online, and so they can apply for an audition. And so there's a form they can download, or they can just fill it out online. And our website is ciys.org. And so they fill out the application, or for reading orchestra, they just fill out the reading orchestra sign-up form. And then we schedule an audition for them. We run auditions about 3 times a year. And so our biggest audition is in May for the next fall. So we audition in the spring for the following season. And that will be Saturday, May 13th. It's usually the second Saturday in May. And so we'll post all of our audition requirements by March-ish. Okay. For that year, and then we'll do another round of auditions in January for this year. So if students missed joining for the fall, then they can still join after the holidays. And so all of that is up on the website right now. They can download everything.
What's that website again?
ciys.org.
Okay, so Central Illinois Youth Symphony, so you're CIYS. Okay, great. What kind of needs do you have as far as volunteers?
As far as volunteers go, we just need volunteers to help with probably setting up and tearing down for our fundraisers. We could use volunteers for our audition days to help run the kids back and forth. But the best way that people can help CIYS is to find that student that they know, that kid who plays the violin or the cello or the flute, and say, I think you should join this. This would be a really great opportunity for you. There's at least one child in every school music program who just loves to play their instrument and actually enjoys practicing, which is not always the case, but we're the right place for the kids who want to practice. So tell all of the kids you know who like playing their instrument and like music about CIYS, and it might be a good fit for them.
Do you have a Facebook page?
We sure do. It's Central Illinois Youth Symphony /CIYS. So if you search for either one, you should come up.
So that'd be probably a fun page to watch.
Absolutely. We have a lot of music humor on there.
Good. I've been around that quite a bit. Usually with drummers, it just seems like drummers get the most of it. But what other things that would you like to hit upon as we're talking through the show here?
Yeah, so we don't pull students just from Peoria. We do get them from Peoria, but we pull from Dunlap, from Morton, Metamora, Bloomington, and Galesburg and Springfield. And so we've got a really big reach. It's not just if you're in Peoria. If you're in Brimfield, we have Brimfield students. And so we really do pull from Central Illinois. It's not just the immediate area. So if you're not in Peoria, that's okay. That's fine. We rehearse on Thursday evenings. Some groups meet from 5:30 to 6:30, some from 7 to 9. So it's after school. It's only for a couple of hours at most. We meet only during the school year, and so we start after in mid-August, and then we do our concerts before Thanksgiving in the fall. And then we start back up in January, and we're done by the end of April usually. So it's you still get your summer break. You still get your holidays. You can travel and do your Disney trip and all of that. And what we really build with our students is this beautiful community of kids who love music. And so we get the kids who like bake cupcakes for Beethoven's birthday. And so they enjoy the challenge of playing, a Mozart symphony. It's fun, it's exciting, and you get to play the really hard repertoire. And you get to make new friends. And it builds on all of the beautiful benefits that you get from studying music. Music helps you improve your test scores, it improves attendance, and all of the things that employers want to see from people, like dedication and perseverance and confidence and leadership and working together, you learn that by studying music. So music prepares you for a wonderful, successful adulthood, whether or not you pursue a career in music. So it's just a good all-around thing to do.
What's your favorite part of the symphony?
Oh, I love Thursday night rehearsals. It's so much fun to see the kids. They're just so happy and excited to be there. And one of my favorite stories from a school visit that I did last year, I showed up at Washington Gifted and spoke with one of the orchestras, and we had a student who was in CIYS at the time, and she didn't know I was coming. And I said, "What do you want your friends to know about CIYS?" And I totally put her on the spot. She goes, "On Thursday, it's the end of the week, and I'm really tired. And I get to rehearsals on Thursday night, and I don't want to leave. I feel great, and I'm energized, and I know it's so good for me." And so that's how our students feel about it. We see them leave every Thursday just chattering, and they feel awesome. And they play great music. They work really hard. And so it's not just about the music we make, it's about the friendships we build, too.
That's really cool. What is the cost for a kid to join in and be in the lessons?
So it depends on the group they're in.
Sure.
For the prep orchestra or a small ensemble, it's $225 for the year.
Okay.
And then for youth symphony, or for concert orchestra, it's $385, and youth symphony is $395. For reading orchestra, we do $25 a month, and so they can join at any point for reading orchestra. And if they need to take a month off for basketball or volleyball or whatever it is, they can come in and out of reading orchestra. That's okay.
And what is reading orchestra?
That's our very beginner orchestra where they work
just learn to read.
They're just plain learning to read.
Okay. Which
Yes.
is hard all on its own, all the notes and everything.
It is.
That's really neat. And how long have you been in?
Well, I started with CIYS actually when I was in high school.
Okay.
And so I joined, and I actually drove from Pontiac. My private teacher was at ISU, and he said, you have to do this. It's right for you. I know it's a far drive, but you have to do it. And I loved it. I absolutely loved it. And then I joined CIYS as the executive director. This is my 5th season, so about 4 years ago. And it's been wonderful. It's been great to work for an organization that really had a big impact on my development. Mm-hmm. And it's one of my favorite memories of when I was a senior in high school, I guess.
still works.
Yeah.
So how far do you travel to play? I mean, the orchestras, where do they play? How do they?
Our orchestras, they usually do their concerts at Metamora High School. And so in November, on November 20th, our orchestras will be playing at 2 o'clock and 4 o'clock. And so tickets are $10 per adult, $5 for child. You can stay for one or both concerts. We'd love to have you for both, but if you can only do one, that's okay. And then our small ensembles play at the Life Together Center. And so one of the rooms is this beautiful event space with a stage, and so we're able to have our students perform there. And that's on November 6th, and both of those are Sundays.
Well, that's pretty cool.
Yeah. So you have some other shows coming up that we can talk about too.
We do. We actually have a fundraiser on November 4th. So right before our small ensembles concert, we're doing our first ever paint night fundraiser. And so we're painting a musical Starry Night. It's in the style of Van Gogh's Starry Night, but with musical elements worked into it. You do not have to be an artist to do this. Paint nights are wonderfully fun because they walk you through how to do it. And I did my first one and thought it would be terrible. It was great. Tickets are $45. We get 15 of every ticket sold. And you can buy those through our website at ciys.org. So we've got that coming up. We have our small ensembles concert on November 6th, where our brass ensemble, woodwind choir, and string quartets will be playing. Our fall orchestral concerts on November 20th at Metamora High School. And so that'll be our prep orchestra, concert orchestra, and percussion ensemble, and youth symphony. And then something very, very cool on the 1st of December, and that's a Thursday night, is our senior solo recital and competition. So all the seniors throughout the organization can compete to solo with the youth symphony on the spring concert. And so the students can either choose to compete or they can just play a solo and have that be kind of their farewell to the organization. But it's a really, they play beautifully. It's a fabulous recital, and that's at 6 o'clock. It's free. There's no cost. Just come and hear some beautiful music. And then we will announce our winner probably a day or so after that.
That's pretty neat. And so all of these events are all on your website too,
They are.
probably on Facebook
Yes.
also.
So once they graduate, where do you see the kids going?
About half of our students, when they graduate, start off majoring in music, and many of them actually finish out a music major. And the other half go into fields like engineering, education. We have a lot of students that go into the medical field, a lot of engineering actually. They do just about everything. We've had some do journalism, nonprofit work. Nearly all of them continue to play. So whether or not they're doing a very intense medical degree, they still play in their college orchestra, or they teach lessons, or they find a group to perform with. And so it's they keep going.
That's really neat. So really all walks of life. It's not just geared towards a certain person. And I didn't play anything in regards to the symphony. I just played the piano and the guitar, but just the enjoyment of music in general is so amazing. It can make a huge impact on somebody's life. I don't think people relate that enough.
Yeah, it's sometimes I'll describe it to the parents in the organization who aren't musicians, and it's, have you ever watched a movie where the music just totally ruined the movie for you? And everyone can think of one movie where the music just didn't quite work, and music is powerful. And I know that's a small example, but the music is supposed to enhance your experience and to kind of fill out the drama that's happening. And when it doesn't, it's really distracting, and it can really deter from the impact. And we use music in everything. I think of weddings. You want live music at that. At graduations, if you do the recorded commencement march as opposed to a live one, it makes a big difference in the quality of the event.
Absolutely. So I guess with that being said, do you guys ever do other events? Like if someone wanted you guys to come play, do you guys do that?
Absolutely. Our string quartets, we actually send them out for gigs. So they are learning to act as professional musicians. And so we do contract them out for parties, for corporate events. They've done wedding receptions. We usually don't do the actual wedding ceremony. Usually we try to stick away from that. It's a little bit more time intensive than our students can usually give with their sports and academics and all of that. But we've done fundraisers for other nonprofits. They've performed for the Crittenden Center's Festival of Trees for a few years. Pretty much they've done like house parties,
That's really
fine
cool.
art fair. Yeah, they've done lots of things. So.
Can you think of any other success stories of kids that have gone through the program?
Yeah, we've got actually here in Peoria, we've got a lot of CIYS graduates that are here. They're either teaching in the schools or they're playing in Prairie Winds or the Peoria Symphony or Heartland Festival Orchestra. A lot of our graduates have stayed local and they're working in our community and bettering our community and living here and then spreading their experience with music to the next generation. We have had some go on to professional positions. The one I can think of right now, he's in the Seoul Philharmonic in South Korea. He won the principal position there, not actually like right after he got out of college, Jeff Holbrook. And he comes back every once in a while to work with the students. And he performed with the PSO a couple of seasons ago, maybe 4 or 5 seasons. So
It's really amazing. Really amazing. So remind us of your website again.
it's CIYS.org.
Okay. And what's the best way for them to find you on Facebook?
I would look up Central Illinois Youth Symphony.
Okay. And is there anything else you want to cover before we're off?
I think that's about it.
That's it? All right. Wonderful. We're here with Amy Zordan of Central Illinois Youth Symphony. And you can find them online and on Facebook. Thanks so much for your time.
Thank you.
Thank you.